Hey everyone, you're listening to the Simple Electronics podcast. I'm your host, Dan, from the Simple Electronics YouTube channel. And with me today, I've got a very special guest. I've got Steve from the EL Workshop YouTube channel, or that is the YouTube channel to be, right? Is that right? It's coming soon.
Yes, it's coming soon.
Well, how are you, Steve?
I'm not bad. And yourself?
Not too bad. And as I guess like a tradition on this podcast, how's the weather around where you are?
Well, right now it's sunny and humid, but I'm indoors, so I'm in the basement. It's quite cool.
Yeah, you're not actually that far from me. You're one of the closest guests that I've had. You're just across the border there in Quebec, and I'm here in Ottawa, Ontario. So we're actually not too far from each other, I think.
No, not too far actually.
So, Steve, first thing I want to talk about is I noticed that you're a moderator on Big Clive's channel. How did that happen?
Well, actually, he was looking for a reasonable moderator, like he says, and I offered my name up for grabs, and all of a sudden, he just turned my name into moderator, and nobody knew what had happened. Nobody knew who the moderator was. So when I talked to two other moderators, and it came out. So
That's pretty cool though. So have you been to most of his live streams?
I've been ever since I've been on YouTube. I've been to all of his live streams and to his videos.
Yeah, I've been watching his videos a very long time too. How long do you think you've been watching for?
Well, I've been on YouTube for about 2 years now and building the channel up slowly. So ever since then, I've been watching his channel. Uh, there's a few other channels too that I've been watching. I can't remember off the top of my head. Learning electronics was one of them.
Yeah, Learn Electronics is good stuff. I think he's a bit nuts though because he releases a video every freaking day. Like that kind of output is ridiculous. I can barely keep up with one or two a week.
It will be like me. I'll be able to make one or two max every 2 weeks.
And what kind of videos do you plan on doing? Do you have any ideas what sort of videos you're aiming for?
Well, the little hint on the ELW is epoxy lights workshop, but it can work in another way: electronics, lights, and wood.
Interesting. I like the double meaning. So Epoxy Lights Workshop. Are we going to see any of those sort of like those riverbed tables that are super common on that were super popular on YouTube? Those kinds of things.
Those kind of things, and a little more complicated. Some tables will have sound systems in them with lights. Other stuff will have Murphy beds with sound systems, all kinds of stuff.
Okay, so I guess take us through it then. So let it like tell us describe to us one of your projects. Have you done any so far as it started?
No, not really, not yet, because I've just recently moved. So all of my work tools, all of my materials, I have to recollect and move back into place into my little workshop that I'm building up. Then I'll be recycling materials like example old wall units, old corner tables, or and just basically strip the hell out of them, take them apart, and reuse the wood. Get pallets or other types of wood, build it up into furniture that everybody can use with epoxy, LEDs, all types of stuff.
Okay, and what's your vision? Where do you think like can you just describe to us what you think the final products are going to look like?
Well, one that I have in mind right now is a square living room table that has sections where you can put your coffee, little rings, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
with induction chargers for the phone. And in the center, you have a car stereo system with the four speakers around the base of the table and the subwoofer where you can have a child watch a movie, or you can play music while you're having a party, or all kinds of stuff like that.
And is this gonna be, like, stained dark, and the LEDs, what are the LEDs gonna light?
And
Like, I'm just
yeah, the LEDs will have. Well, there will be three options. There will be the standard ones. There will be the ones that can move with the music, and there will be the Arduino controlled
okay,
LEDs.
like the NeoPixel type things.
Yes, exactly.
And they're gonna be, like, sort of, underneath as mood lighting, or are they gonna be, like, on top shining down, so if you're playing games and stuff, you can have some lighting? What are you thinking?
Well, I was thinking of having some underneath the table for like music and things like that. And then for, say, you're watching a movie on the table itself, well, you have little neopixels that shoot the base or one way or the other, depending on say you're watching an action movie. So you get an explosion on the right side, you're gonna have that explosion color of red or violet shining off the table.
Oh, yeah, there's, I'm trying to remember what the lighting is called. Um, it's like but the lights react to what's at the edge of the image, right? Like,
Yeah, I can't
oh,
remember.
it's called an ambilight.
Yeah, that's it.
So, okay, so you're gonna do like a full like an ambilight surround on this table, and the table will be like the screen faces upwards, or the screen will face like the couch or whatever?
Faces toward the main TV, so it faces upwards.
So, sorry, the TV is sitting on this table?
Yeah, if it like in the middle of the table, you have the four speakers. So
Okay.
say you have an explosion, a big explosion behind you, while you have the colors coming toward you. But if the explosion is in front of you, it's going to be going away from you.
Okay, so I guess I understand the speakers are like a sort of like a tower in the middle,
Yeah,
right? And then the lights are around the perimeter, and so depending on where the sound is coming from, that sort of that corner of the table is going to light up with the ambilights.
yeah.
Okay, well that sounds pretty interesting. Have you messed with this kind of stuff before? Have you programmed some ambilights?
No, this is going to be my first time. Like I've been saying on my profile on YouTube, is that everything that be doing is my first time. So anybody that sees my channel will see that I'm doing it for the first time. So they'll be able to learn from my mistakes and progress with me, instead of watching and having all these cuts in the videos and
Yeah, that's and I mean that's fair enough. It'll be sort of like almost a like
hands-on
almost
type thing.
yeah, it's going to be almost like a vlog though, right? Because they're going to be learning alongside with you instead of watching the final product and then just a short video on you making it, correct?
That's it.
Okay.
And since I don't know any coding myself, this is going to be an interesting channel.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know like almost nothing about coding. I'm so lost. I usually defer the coding stuff to other people's examples because I have no idea.
Well, I have tried Arduino before, and I have been able to make two projects out of it, but it took me about 3 weeks for each project in order to finalize it.
So tell me about it then. What were the two projects you did with Arduino?
Well, the only two projects I did basically was the first thing you learn on the Arduino is the basic blink sketch,
Uh-huh.
and then the second one I wanted to make myself a little hidden compartment, but that opens electronically when you put R, RFID tag near a certain spot on the mantle.
Okay.
And it didn't work so well because the timing of the my programming didn't suit well with the solenoid I had. So I had to kind of scrap that idea.
Okay, so how far did you go with the hidden compartment? So you had basically a RFID reader and you had a tag, right?
Yeah, I had everything installed, ready to go. Uh, I put my camera inside the compartment and closed it. But that was my mistake when I closed it. I could not open it afterwards. I had
Oh
to
no.
dismantle the whole thing.
Oh no, that's why we have to test things while they're apart.
Wow, that's the problem. It was tested, everything was running, but the latch was too big for the solenoid. So the solenoid was stuck there. It couldn't move backwards.
Oh, I see.
So in order to get it out, I had to remove everything.
Well, I tell my students that making mistakes is the best way to learn because typically when you make a mistake, it has a consequence, and those consequences stop you from wanting to make the mistake again. So it kind of solidifies it. So I think in that way, you've made the best mistake possible because now you'll know, right? Like you're ready for next time.
Yeah, now I know, and will reintegrate that project into another one. But I'm thinking right now that the table is a too big of a project to start off with, so I'm gonna put it to the side for now and start off with small projects like in order to hide the personal items or things that you don't want visitors to see.
Yeah, like hidden compartments, I think would actually be a fantastic way to start your channel up because it has enough sort of broad appeal that the non electronics enthusiast would also be interested in it and not just the electronics and Arduino type people.
That's
So
it.
so I think that's perfect.
And not only that, the type of stuff that I would like to make, basically, you would not be able to see the compartment that opens because it's gonna be seamless.
Oh, so where are you planning on hiding it?
Well, there I had the option of either side of the left or the right side of, say, a rectangular box, or the underneath. But
Okay.
then, but then it would be too obvious. So then the other option I thought of was for the box to just drop down.
So drop down from like let's say
Like
underneath
you
a
screw it
table.
into the a panel into the wall, and then you just flip the box up, and it locks.
You screw it into a panel into the wall.
Yeah, like the door of the box, you screw it to the wall, and then so when you close the door of the box, it latches so it stays on the wall. But yet you can put potted plants and things like that on it. And when you want to go into it, well, it's gonna be a hassle to remove the potted plants and all that, and use your tag to open it, but it drops right down and you got all your keys or whatever inside.
Oh, so it looks like a shelf then.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay,
but
now I understand.
but then when you pass the tag on it, the shelf drops. It moves forward.
Well, there we go. And so do you have a timeline for when you wanna get started on this, on your channel?
Well, it's gonna be from now until next year, since I have to collect my tools. Since I only have a screwdriver and a drill, so I need saws. I need a few other things that I have to buy next month.
Okay.
And then it's off to the recycling areas around my town, that township recycling centers.
To pick up your raw materials.
Yes, that, or I go garbage hunting, but I don't like going through the garbage all that much.
I have no shame. I garbage pick all the time. I walk through my neighborhood a lot, probably about twice a day. And when it's garbage day, I bring a grocery bag with me because stuff like electrical cords and stuff that have motors in them, I'll typically bring home, rip the motor out, and then put the plastic bits in the recycling.
Oh, those type of things I don't have to worry about since my volunteer work. that I do every Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. They throw out children's toys, electronics that don't work, and I pick them up. I bring them home, dismantle them.
What are your okay? First of all, what kind of volunteer work do you do, if you don't mind me asking?
My volunteer work is basically food donations. So Wednesday we basically get the food, separate it, clean, take out the all the rotten food and throw it out or put it in the compost, depending on what it is. Then Thursday people come at their time that they're supposed to with their bags. We fill them up, hand them to the client, then they leave with it. Saturday, I work for 2 hours, basically watching the back store with the clients, helping with incoming stuff and little things like that.
So it's basically like a food bank and charity type place that you volunteer at.
Yeah, food bank and secondhand store.
Oh, okay, it's a secondhand store as well. And the
Yeah,
the is it like a for-profit secondhand store, or does that go to charity, the profits?
it goes back to the store, but the store reuses that money to buy stuff for the food bank.
Oh, well, that's pretty nice.
So the money is always recirculated inside the food bank.
I was actually going to ask, because you're saying you're going to be buying tools and stuff in the next year or so. Do you not have any sort of like maker spaces or tool libraries that you can borrow from in the meantime?
Not really. So, like I say, I just started the channel. Now I'm going into the Arduino into maker places, DroneBot Workshop forum. I go there also.
And that's to gather the knowledge needed to actually do the work.
Yes, in order to do the Arduino codes.
And you see, I guess this is what I'm always going on and on and on about how towns and cities need to have sort of like a maker space around, because I guess instead of buying tools for the next year like you're saying, you could already get started if there was a tool library near you where you can borrow tools. I know my city, Ottawa, they have a tool library, but because of COVID, it's been like on and off and on and off. And I don't even think you can rent tools there anymore at the moment. So, you know, people listening out there, if you're thinking about starting a makerspace or something, please do, because it's always a benefit. Like I'm sure you would love to go to a makerspace and work on stuff there.
The maker space. Well, I know that right now here in Labelle, Quebec, Canada, that I'm living, uh, there is no maker space. There is none in Saint Agathe or Mont Tremblant, but Montreal might have it. Quebec City might have it. I am not sure. I haven't been able to get down there to go and find out.
Yeah, I'm seeing Montreal has like 10 maker spaces, but this is what I mean. Like it shouldn't be limited to only big cities. Like we need to organize. Personally, I think we need to organize as a country to get more you know more means into the hands of more people, because I'm sure there's tons of people who are creatives like yourself that just can't afford to build stuff, which is very sad if you think about it.
Yeah, I'm on social assistance, so it's very hard to collect what I need other than handouts, basically. But I do quite well for myself.
Yeah, you're because you're thrifty, or what helps you? What's your strategy?
Well, since I'm a bit of a freelance, I basically go day by day and collect what I can. Like right now, I have enough wood to start a small project, but I don't have the electronics or the lights to go with it. So I, I'm going to have to go onto Wish.com and call for the extra parts, or if somebody's throwing some leads out, I'll probably go and collect them, or things like that.
please don't order from Wish, because Wish is like just it's AliExpress but more expensive and worse quality for somehow. I would much rather see you order from eBay or AliExpress rather than Wish. Wish is like terrible. I think we need to get rid of that. It's a plague.
Lately, Wish hasn't disappointed.
Yeah, and you've like compared the exact same thing on AliExpress, and it's been cheaper on Wish.
Yeah, like the 12-volt dual power supply that I have running my stereo car system works perfectly.
What
Uh,
what kind of power supply? What kind of
it,
current?
it's a 30 amp power supply.
Do you remember how much that cost you on Wish?
At the time, it was $25 with
Okay.
the shipping of $4, something like that.
Okay, so like like $32.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm seeing it exactly the same price on Amazon, and that means it'll be a little bit cheaper on AliExpress. So on AliExpress, I'm seeing 12 volts. It was a 360. I'm seeing it about $35 on AliExpress. So it's the exact same price on Amazon, and you get it in 2 days.
yeah.
So
But
you got.
I didn't know about that one at the time.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
fair enough. I'm just saying for the future, because I think Wish has a lot of scam products on it, and if you price compare, typically you can get the exact same thing for cheaper on AliExpress, and sometimes for bigger things as Canadians, for us it's a better value to get it on Amazon because they ship these things over on giant pallets and then distribute it on Amazon instead of you paying the individual shipping on the items.
I that I didn't know about, but there was one other time where I got a 3 pole 12-volt 60 amp power supply again, and it was $12 in total.
Oh yeah, and it worked?
Yeah, and my neighbor's using it to run his car stereo system with a subwoofer and an amp.
Oh really? And you're actually pulling 60 amps off of it?
He's actually pulling 80 amps off of it,
That is terrifying.
and
Cuz
I can tell you that the whole building shakes just from the subwoofer.
yeah, that's impressive. Um I don't know, maybe I should give a second look to Wish, but there you have to make an account before you can even start shopping, and I'm not down with that. I just want to look.
Yeah, it's a give and take type thing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 12 volt power supplies here. I guess while we're recording this, I'm just seeing what's going on. So I have one $13 here. That's 3 amps. If I go up to 40 amps, $34. I don't know the shipping plus $10 of shipping. So it's actually cheaper on Amazon for that.
Yeah, they changed their prices since then. I've been with Wish for about 9 years now.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But I think everything went up though because shipping has become absolutely ridiculous since the COVID times.
Uh, they're still crazy because of the COVID, and I don't think it's gonna change anytime soon.
Probably not. It's very likely not. So what else is on your shopping list? So we know you need to get some LEDs. So you're looking for NeoPixels, I assume.
Yeah, and the ample LEDs also.
What do you mean ample LEDs?
Well, they're type LEDs where the sound system goes with the lights, like the boom in front of you. They go in front.
Oh, they're called ample AMPLE?
I am not sure, but I think so.
Oh, okay. Um, okay, so that's that. You can actually, you know what? If you look it up, you can make your own circuit to make your own LEDs light up with the music. It's actually not that difficult.
No, but I was thinking NeoPixels, and there's something also I wanted to do with one of the projects that has already been done from a guy named Mouse. You see him often on BigLiveLive.com.
Okay.
He's a moderator.
What kind of project has he done?
He does the supercomputers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Big Clive has put a few together.
Yeah, well, he received them from Mouse. It's one of his moderators that does them, and he sells them. So I was thinking of getting some custom made from him if he's willing to do them. If not, I was going to go online and find out how to do them myself and build wall panels of supercomputers.
There, you know what? I strongly believe that if, of course, if Mouse isn't willing to design them for you, I strongly believe that you'd be able to do that yourself because actually the LEDs just blink by themselves. All you have to do is give it a positive and a negative, and they just blink. And the fact that they're only regulated individually, like each individual LED self blinks at its own very slightly different rate, that's what gives you the supercomputer effect. So um, if you have sort of like an afternoon to learn KiCad, you can kind of easily design those things yourself. I mean, it won't be the original, mouse product, but I'm confident you'd be able to do it.
No, I'm sure I would be able to, but I don't have the patience, unfortunately.
Yeah, it
But
does take some patience. KiCad has a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get it, it's sort of it sets you up kind of for life, right? Because it's another skill you have under your belt at that point.
yeah, there's KiCad, CNC, machining, 3D printing also.
Yeah, are you interested in any of those technologies?
All of them,
Me
even
too.
laser cutting and all of that. But unfortunately, I would have to move again in order to receive those type of machines because the current apartment that I just rented is too small for that. So,
And you're not interested in sort of having an off-site workshop like a a shed in your friend's backyard or something that's all locked up and you can go there to work?
well, I did ask the boss at the my volunteer work, and he's just can't really leave me a space right now because they're overloaded in furniture. So I can't really have a place there. But I should ask the landlord. Maybe he can spot me a little place.
Yeah, who knows? And plus, I guess if you're in an apartment, is it the type that has little storage lockers indoors? Because some of them do in the basement, and maybe you could have one of those little spaces to put a couple of machines down there.
Well, there is a storage space in the basement, but belongs to the other apartment. And on top of that, there's two commercial places above me, so I can't really get a space that easily. I would have to ask him in order to put a small shed beside my front door or something like that.
Who knows? It doesn't hurt to ask, right?
No, it doesn't hurt.
And I mean, there's also the possibility that if you ever did want to get organized, you could probably propose to your city to open a makerspace as well. I mean, they need someone to be in charge of it. So maybe that could be you. Who knows?
Maybe. And we'll see. There's all these type of possibilities I'll be looking into. But for now, rather just concentrate on my starting my channel and seeing where it goes from there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So what else is on your shopping list? So we got NeoPixels, we've got some LEDs, and then the Ample LEDs.
Yeah, and there's the epoxy. I have to go and buy some epoxy for the tables too, but not just any epoxy. I'm gonna go in and order some Stone Coat epoxy.
Stone Cold.
Stone Coat.
Oh, Stone Coat.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And
that's another channel that I listen to.
okay, he's got his own custom epoxy.
Yes, he does, with his own paints and types things like that. That really piqued my interest.
Interesting. And what's special about the Stone Coat epoxy?
Uh, what they do is basically they do countertops and shower stalls and things like that, and they show you how to do it cheaply and efficiently.
Is
So it,
the is the epoxy anything special, or it's just the method is special?
it's the method that they use that's special because some of the methods they use, it comes out like marble.
Okay.
It's as if the panel was made out of actual marble.
It's kind of
So
expensive though. I see $205 US for 2 gallons of this stuff.
here in where I am, it's about $360 for 2 4 gallons.
That's yeah, that's it's pricey. That's not cheap.
No, that's why the epoxy comes last, and that's where I'm going to be saving up to get the epoxy at the last moment.
Yeah, because I've been wanting to do some epoxy laminating. So putting down fiberglass cloth and laminating with epoxy. And the reason I'm not doing it is because it's super expensive. I mean, I'd love to play with epoxy, but like even just regular laminating epoxy is like really expensive. I think the West Systems epoxy would be something like for a gallon, it would be like something like $180 Canadian or something. It's really expensive.
Yes, but there should be some other products. Like I have seen some epoxies that are cheap, but I would say a bit sketch, that are 89 $99. But I wouldn't put my confidence into those type of epoxies.
No, no, I completely agree. It would be, I mean, especially because, so what I was thinking, I don't know if you've ever been on my website, but I have a dreams section where I put in like things that I want to do eventually, and one of the things is to have a solar powered raft, like a boat, basically, to go down the Rideau River system from Ottawa here to down to like Lake Ontario through way of Kingston. And I kept thinking, you can make it with the barrels, like a lot of people use for floating docks. They're like I don't remember what size, like 60-gallon barrels or something. The big barrels, anyways.
Yeah, the 16 gallons.
Is it only 16? It feels like they're bigger, but anyways, doesn't matter. Big barrels. And then I was thinking, well, even cooler than barrels would be to make something out of insulation foam, like the rigid foam, the like sort of like green foam stuff.
Yeah,
So make something like that, a flat bottom like a barge boat, and then epoxy it like fiberglass it all. And
yeah,
so
but the problem with that idea is that the foam, when the epoxy heats up in order to cure, the foam will shrink.
yeah, so that's why you use a really slow setting epoxy, and so that it dissipates heat a lot faster. It won't heat up as hot. So you use something like instead of a 2 hour work time epoxy, you use like the 8 hour
Yeah,
work time epoxy.
that,
And
and you
then
do one side at a time. You don't do both sides in one shot.
that's right. That's right. So you do it, I would do it slowly, but I think what's brilliant about that, what I feel is brilliant about that is that then you end up with a foam cord, really strong boat that also has like a flat bottom, which means that you displace a lot more water and you float up higher so you can go shallower because the Rito system here at some points gets pretty damn shallow. So, I kept thinking about these things, but then when you price out the epoxy, I think I was like up at like $700 worth of epoxy for this thing and like $300 worth of foam. And so it's like it's $1,000, and for $1,000 you can actually get a used boat, right? So it's
Yeah,
like it's so hard to justify building things with epoxy because it's so expensive.
it is. It is.
Are you going to be selling these things that you build after, or are you just keeping it? You're just building it for you.
Well, there's some things I will be selling, and there will be others that I'll be keeping for myself.
Okay, so what kinds of things are you willing to sell then?
Well, there'll be sound systems I'll be selling with furniture if they wanted. For different types of furniture. I was think of making my own kitchen table with a sound system in it, but the speakers, instead of being inside the table itself, they're going to be inside the legs,
Okay.
but in a way where nobody will see the speaker itself, but yet the table is going to be held on four pegs on each leg.
Okay, so it'll fire up towards the table.
No, it will fire down toward the floor.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
But
Interesting. And I'm guessing like your passion is lights and sound. It's sort of seeming like that to me. Is that accurate?
yeah, lights, sound systems. I like music a lot. I play games also, so I'd like to have my. Say I play Diablo 3. I like to have that ambient sound without the music, but hearing the guys that die and then hearing a guy behind me. Oh, gotta turn around. You know.
Yeah, I played quite a bit of Diablo 3. How long have you been playing?
Well, I've had the game for quite a bit of years, but since my video card broke on me, well, I can't play it.
That's unfortunate. At least now the prices have started to come down. But yeah, for the last like 2 years, video cards have been impossible to buy.
All of the places in the townships that I've been living don't have any computer stores or recycled computer parts, so I can't get any of it. Any of it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Hopefully, in your area, there's some Bitcoin miners that are selling their gear because the used cards are going to be coming up pretty cheap very shortly.
Okay.
And plus, I mean, we're not far from each other, so if you see something in Ottawa, I can always pick it up and ship it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait. Uh, I also do recycle old 18650 batteries,
Okay, that's a fun hobby.
and I try to reintegrate that into the tables.
Okay, in which way?
Well, I spot weld them, and say there's a power outage, and you're in the middle of a party. It sucks like hell to lose all that music in the middle of a power outage. So, the table, what I'm planning to set it up as is when there's a power outage, the relay kicks in and keeps the music on, running off the batteries.
So kind of like have like a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply, but built into your table.
Yeah.
Cool. What kind of spot welder do you use?
I got one off of Wish where it's a cheap spot welder that you have to use lithium packs or a car battery.
Okay.
But
Have you
I plan to change that up pretty soon.
have you had any great success with that? Does it work just fine?
Yeah, I've managed to make two sets of batteries with it.
That would be like you made like three
Uh,
cell and series packs or what?
yeah, 12-volt battery pack, three in series, seven long in parallel.
Okay.
And then I made a 3.7 pack for running my battery bank charger discharger.
That's pretty neat. Where do you get your used 18650s from?
Well, I collect them out of used laptop batteries. Recently, there's been drill batteries. I've been collecting them out of. Sometimes I'll find old evaporators on the side of the street where nobody's using them anymore, and Sometimes they'll have the little type of batteries that you typically see in them, but some that I do get are 18650s.
Those vapes are absolutely terrible for the environment. The people just like throw them, like literally like chuck them on the street, and they have a lithium battery in them. Like
Yeah,
it's
I collect them.
a good thing that you do, because honestly, it's a problem to leave that litter. Not only is it like litter, but it's not really safe, because I mean, if you roll over it with your car, you can short it and create a lithium fire in the middle of the street.
Not only that, remember about the animals. That's why I picked them up, so no little critter can pierce the battery and have fire in his mouth.
Yeah, that or the vape juice, because they'll overdose on nicotine and die. Like it,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty ridiculous. But it is interesting how the manufacturers of these vape products use rechargeable lithium batteries, because they're cheaper to manufacture than the lithium primary cells that are not rechargeable.
Yeah.
So have you been like picking them up and testing out the batteries to see how well they work?
Well, some of them that I've picked up have not worked at all. And there's other ones that do work, but they're at their 0 point or point 1 point, basically almost dead. So I got to trickle charge them.
Yep.
And then I do get the ones that do work, but then also the ones that do work, but when you go and charge them, they heat up.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah, so those ones that heat up or don't work, I put them in a box, and I'll try to find a center to dispose of them.
What kind of charger are you using for those? Do you have like anything special? Do you use like a TP4056, or what do you got?
Well, I got a dedicated battery charger that it's called ELB Intel I charger. It's a lead I quick Intel E charger. It does two batteries at a time.
It's like it has a slot for 18650
Yeah,
batteries on it.
18650s, and you can it's got springs on it, so you can put different sizes into it.
Yeah, I was looking at those. I was trying to get my Banggood contact to send me some, but Banggood decided to stop the gravy train. They're not sending anything anymore. Those
Uh,
things are kind of interesting. I think basically on the inside it's just a bunch of TP4056 modules, to be honest.
well, I have not opened this one because it does not belong to me. So it belongs to my neighbor.
Ah, that makes sense. Is he a vapor? Is that why he's got a
His son is,
18650? Ah, there we go. Well, that's good. Making use of it.
but it's 120 volt, or I can plug in a 12-volt car adapter into it.
Well, there we go. That's useful. So then you can actually use your salvaged 18650 cells to charge more 18650 cells.
Yeah.
And what are you using to trickle charge the batteries if they're almost dead?
Well, I got a voltmeter with a variable bench power supply
Oh, excellent.
that I basically made myself, and I plug it and I bring it down to about 1.5 volts at about half an amp or 10 milliamps, depending on how bad it is, and try to bring it back up.
Talk to me about your power supply. That sounds interesting. So what is it, and how did you build it?
Well, it basically a little panel with your 3.3 volts, 5 volts, 12 volts, and negative 12 volts that you plug into a computer power supply.
Okay.
And then I got a voltmeter that where you can change the voltage and amperage on it, so you can just adjust, fine tune it to charge your batteries.
So you got like a buck DC to DC converter with like a current limiting and like basically a variable power supply that plugs into a DC source, and you're plugging that into this adapter module, which is plugged into a computer
PC
power
power
supply. Then
supply. Yeah.
there we go. And how much did that whole thing cost you? It sounds like it wasn't very expensive.
Well, the only thing I paid for it was the adapter for the PC power supply, and then I only paid $3 for it.
Awesome.
So the rest
You know
of it,
what?
I basically tried to collect it on my own.
Here, I've got something to tell you, Steve. I think your very first video should be a showcase on your variable power supply you have there. I think your very first video on your YouTube channel should be showing everyone how you can make do with very little money, because I do know that there are things you can do that are very low cost, and some people just wouldn't have thought of that. So I think that would make a fantastic video to make for your YouTube channel. What do you think of that?
Well, I got right now. I got more than one. I got about five different benches for different voltages, mainly 12 volts. But I'm planning to build another one where I can adjust my voltage and amperage even more. So I was thinking of putting that one on to my channel.
I mean, yeah, that's a great idea. I'm just thinking, because you already have this on hand. I think it would be I know I personally would love to have a tour around your equipment. So if you could make videos about your equipment, I think people would watch that.
I would not do the make videos on my equipment because my benches are also my storage spaces. So it's kind of hell right now in the corner.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Maybe in
saying,
the future.
yeah, you don't have to be ashamed of your mess, right? We're all kind of, messy people. You should, like, my workbench, for example, is only clean for the area that my camera captures. Everything else on every side is full of junk. And Big Clive has said this before too, that sometimes on his videos he reaches for something and then an avalanche happens. And I think that's something we don't have to be ashamed of. Normalize the clutter.
Yeah, yeah, but how can I say there's one project in particular that's been sitting in the wing and it's sitting on my bench that I plan to film on, so I have to clear all that out first.
Yeah. Well, you know what? How about this? We'll leave it up. We'll see what the comment section says about your clutter, if it bothers them or not, and then you can see the replies, and maybe they'll encourage you to make videos, or at the very least, maybe it'll force you to get one of your projects done or something. It's sometimes we need to get motivation from elsewhere.
Well, that's the thing with me. I don't have the type of motivation to do anything right now, so I'll leave it to the comments, see what everyone says, and see if they want to see my the bench that we are talking about now, or if they want to wait and see the one that I will be building soon.
Okay, people, you heard the man. Go in the comments and let him know if you want to see the bench that's going on now, or you want to wait for a future one. My opinion is that if we see this bench, we're probably going to see the future one also. It's two for the price of one.
Maybe, maybe not. That we'll wait and see.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so we went over. You got your bench power supply. You've got a multimeter. What kind of multimeter are you using?
Just a normal generic multimeter, but this multimeter does not have continuity on it, so I will have to make myself a continuity meter.
Yeah, that's a big deal actually. I think I use continuity the most on my multimeter.
That's the problem with this one. It was $25, but without continuity on it.
Ooh, that's rough. I
Very
think,
rough.
yeah, because I've reviewed multimeters that are less than $25, and they have all the settings on them. Multimeter, because I have an ANEG AN8008, which I'm sure cost me less than that, and it has all the bells and whistles on it. Um, can't find it on Amazon at the moment, but yeah, there are some cheap multimeters that are pretty good at this point. I think even the Kaiweets multimeter, I think that thing is around $25. Oh no, never mind. It went up in price. It's oh yeah, here we go. There's a $25 one. $23.99 with $2 off on top of that.
This one's completely red. Hold on, I'll go get it. Try to find the name of it. Okay, GB Gardner Bender GDT 311.
GDT 311. Let's see. Oh yeah, here it is on their website. Oh, so I guess it has resistance mode, but yeah, no continuity buzzer on it.
Nope.
I've never heard of this brand, Gardner Bender. Interesting. Well, I mean, it is what it is. It looks more like an electrician's multimeter than a electronics multimeter.
It's more or less that, but it does help me with capacitors and resistors, so
Oh,
I'll give
definitely.
it that.
Oh, for sure. 100%. It actually seems like it's kind of expensive. It looks like the brand is a decent brand. They seem to make a whole bunch of things.
And it's CE compliant to 1 amp on the probes, but I gotta change it.
Yeah, it's one of those things when you're shopping at first, like there's a lot of stuff you have to think about and a lot of stuff to buy. So what about Arduino? Do you have any Arduino boards?
I only have an Arduino Uno.
That's kind of the best one to learn, I would think.
This one was given to me though, and all the little connection where you put your test wires have all been removed.
Oh, there's no headers on it.
No, so
Damn.
I have to solder wires physically to each connection in order to use it.
Yeah, I think it's time for I think it's time for some Arduinos.
Well, I was thinking of Arduino Minis.
Which ones? The Pro Minis or the or like the Nanos? Which ones?
I'm not sure yet. I was thinking one with the best Wi-Fi capabilities, since they some of them will have to go through wood in order to connect to Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to be looking more in the ESP family than if you're looking for Wi-Fi. The ESP32s have come down in price quite a bit, and they have built-in Wi-Fi, and they're also 32-bit processors. 32-bit? I don't know. They're really powerful processors. So,
Yeah, so I'm right now. I'm learning with this Arduino soldering and non-soldering wires, but in the future, I'm gonna think of going with ESPs or nanos, or it depends on the project.
oh yeah, for sure. And are you using just the Arduino IDE and writing code in C++?
I only have the Arduino IDE, and that's basically what I can start off with, since I can't learn too many things at one time. So
Oh, I completely understand you there. Where are you getting most of your information from? From forums, from YouTube videos?
YouTube videos and the Drone Bot Workshop, like I said.
And who are your favorite YouTubers to watch for Arduino type stuff?
Well, there's Learning Electronics. Big Live doesn't do them.
No, he
Uh,
doesn't do much programming at all.
I've watched your videos, and I know sometimes you do them yourself.
Sometimes, yep, I am crap at coding, right? I would defer to someone better at coding.
Pile of stuff. He does a lot of Arduino stuff too.
Pile of
Great
stuff.
Scott.
Oh yeah, Great Scott is a great channel as well.
So I watched quite a few of them.
Yeah, Pile of Stuff is I think is ideal for beginners because he struggles with the coding a lot as well, and that makes it easier for me to follow. I don't know if you feel the same, but yeah, it
Yeah,
makes it easier for me for sure.
Well, it is for sure. And DroneBot Workshop, he does show, he does explain, but I find he explains everything a little too quickly.
Yeah, that's possible. Don't forget YouTube has to be catered to a short attention span.
Yeah,
If you spend too long explaining the coding, then you're going to lose views. And when you lose views, that means that YouTube stops recommending your videos to people. It's horrible. Like, I mean, you're going to have to learn this anyways when you start up on the YouTube channel, but you got to keep things brief, or else YouTube won't recommend your channel and you'll grow really slowly.
yeah. Well, right now I only have like three test videos on my channel, where one of them is where my neighbor had confronted the police for some reason. We don't know why. I got my cat out on there, and I got my an old camping percolator, coffee percolator.
Okay. But so I would recommend that you start filming almost anything at this point, because when you're making YouTube videos, and this is advice for all beginners, and you can take it or leave it, but basically your first couple videos are going to be trash. It's not you, it's everyone. The first couple of videos you make are going to be absolute garbage. But what happens is, once you're done and you watch your video, you immediately see the parts in your video that you don't like. And so then when you make your second video, it's automatically better than the first one. And your third one is better, and fourth is better, and whatever.
And you see the evolution of the channel also. It's
Exactly. So I
it's
do.
like another channel that I watch quite often is Demolition Ranch.
Okay.
If you start off with one of his first videos and you go up till today, the evolution of his videos is unbelievable.
Yeah, and so I actually get DMs on Twitter, and I get emails, and people ask me for advice on starting a YouTube channel. And the best advice I can possibly give is, don't wait, start now, because it's going to take you a couple of videos, sometimes 10 or sometimes 20 videos, to start finding your groove. And so the important is not to save projects for videos, but is to make videos, as you do stuff. And
Yeah.
so, for example, this is why I was trying to encourage you to show off your power supplies, because A, it's interesting, right? Like the making use of, especially like recycling components and stuff like that. That's interesting. And B, it'll start training you on making videos. Just the fact that you're making the video, doing the process, you'll find things that you do like and don't like, things that you want to improve upon. It'll make you a better video maker, just because you are making videos, because nobody's Leonardo da Vinci on their first painting.
Well, that's it. Not only that, I plan to make the toys for kids, so that's going to be really interesting just on its own.
Exactly, there we go. And what kind of toys are you going to be making?
Well, toys where the kids will be able to touch buttons, where they'll have sounds, lights, they'll have switches that they can turn on, turn off, all kinds of stuff onto it.
So yeah, there we go. That would make these things would make fantastic videos. So there's no need to like wait for the right moment. I think when it comes to making stuff, I think the right moment is now, right?
Yeah. But slowly and surely, as I rack up my materials, it's going to start showing.
Excellent. Do you have an idea, like just an estimate, when we're going to see the first video? Because I know you're going to be buying tools for the next year or so, but do you have any idea when you think you're going to be starting to make those videos?
I plan to start next summer. Yeah, next year, around next summer. But if I can start in spring of next year, well, it's gonna be better.
Well, we'll all be looking forward to that. Um, those of you listening to this podcast, you can go hit the link in the description to go subscribe if you want to be ready for that. And especially if you want to, let Steve know that you're excited to see content, and maybe we'll get some content before spring. Who knows?
And maybe a few questions. I don't mind answering a few questions.
There we go. And so, do you have any closing thoughts, Steve, before we go?
Nope. Nope. And there will be updates as time moves on.
Where can we see the updates?
On my channel, I'll have them on my Facebook and Instagram.
And again, if you're listening, all those links are down in the description. I think your Instagram is private, though, last time I checked.
Right now it is, but I'm gonna make it public very soon.
In time for the release of this podcast?
In maybe not in time for the podcast, but it will be open to the public before the I would say Christmas.
Okay, so look forward to that, everyone. And Steve, thank you so much for taking your time and talking to us on the podcast.
No problem. You have a good day.
All right. And listeners, I do want you to go down in the comments and comment questions, suggestions, anything for Steve. Steve will be taking a look at the comments, and I'll also send it to him if he forgets to look. But also, I do want you to go onto Steve's links. Subscribe if you're interested. Send him messages there. He's probably going to be quite happy to hear from you. And if not, well, we're going to see each other on the next podcast. So thanks for listening, guys.
You have a good day.